All right, we are live with what is going to be, I guess, our first public show here. You got to start by starting, and you got to start somewhere. So here we go. Welcome to the show. This is All About Aspen. I'm your host, Landon Like a Plane, coming to you from my studio here in my bedroom. I call it Truscott Studios, but it's really just my bedroom. And this is my very first attempt at doing a public, I don't know, blog or vlog, I guess it is. It's what I'm hoping to be my contribution to the town of Aspen and my contribution to my community, my local community. So the show is called All About Aspen, and it's a show that gives you a hyper look into one of the most exclusive places in the world, Aspen, Colorado, through the eyes of an everyday man, me, Landon Like a Plane, as I take you around and give you the local news, the local weather, as well as show you the hyper local personal stories of my life as somebody who is a local here in Aspen. This is my first attempt at the show, and well, publicly. I have another show that I do that's called Level Up Lando, which is much more about the personal struggles and trials and occasional successes of my life. And if you're interested, I think I'm going to create a subscription to this show where if you do want to subscribe and be a member, an Aspen local, if you will, I'll give you that episode as a bonus and as extra material for you. But that's a whole other thing, which I don't really need to get into at this juncture because this show's more about doing things for the town and a little bit less about me personally. So, in that way, I want to give you both the weather and the local news. And that's why I couldn't figure it out. So, um, I'm doing all of this kind of on the fly, and in that way, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but it's exciting nonetheless. So I'm going to try and share my screen here. Select window or screen. Aha, that's cool. Screen 2. Okay, open, allow. Oh, okay, here we go, Firefox. Oh, it's going to make me quit it. Okay, so what if I do this way? I'm just trying to read you guys the news. So normally I would go get an actual newspaper. I live here at the golf course in employee housing. It's one of the ways that I'm actually able to make a life here in Aspen, Colorado, a very expensive place to live. But when you get into some of the employee housing, it becomes a little bit more affordable. And so that's where I'm at. And living here in the employee housing, I have there's a restaurant and golf course right next to me, and there's also just several other of those little boxes that they put the newspapers in. And so, oh shoot, I forgot to mic myself. Hang on just a second. I gotta go. I got maintenance coming in here to fix some stuff, and I was hoping to be wrapped before all that, but we'll see. I'm gonna shut the door just in case. All right, what a great start to this first episode. So, okay, let's see here. Now I got this mic. I like to record on multiple devices, and so while I'm going live through YouTube, I'm also recording on my own personal camera, and that's what this mic is for. So, okay, let's start with the news. Let's see how long this takes. And my vision here is to go ahead and read the news literally word for word, and then ideally I'd like to show it to you, but and so you can read along with me. However, it looks like if I try and share my screen, it's going to not let me do that. Oh, there it goes. Wait. Hang on a second here. I'll move this one over here. Does that work? What am I sharing? What are you looking at? Is that this? No, it's not. Well, let's try again. Yeah. This is kind of cool. There we go. Yeah, look at this. Look at me. All right, I'm figuring it out. Okay, so we've got the news pulled up here, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to read these things word for word for you. My vision here is that you, if you're driving to work, if you're coming, a lot of people who work in Aspen, they don't live in Aspen. I'm very fortunate to have employee housing, and I'm aware of that. However, a lot of people have to commute from down valley, is what they call it, which is all the way, brings even into Rifle, which is about an hour and a half drive. And so my idea of reading the news to you guys is, one, it's the local news. It's a lot of times what people actually care about. And that maybe by me reading it to you, it'll save you the time of reading it yourself. You can listen in your car or whatever. And two, it'll bring you up to date on what we've got going on here in Aspen, even though, in my personal opinion, a major thing that is lacking from the local news is actual local news. And that's where I hope to sort of substitute and fill in. I've written a couple of different articles for the newspapers, and I've also written a few articles that got rejected by the newspapers. And in that way, I figure, why am I going to the news when I can just be independent news? And so that's what I'm hoping to make this show into, is some sort of local news weather channel that's going to give you kind of a more boots on the ground experience of what's actually going on here in Aspen. It's my home, and I'm pretty tapped into the town. I know a lot of people here. I've worked in a lot of different industries, and in that way, I tend to have my finger on the pulse of what's going on here. So if you're looking to find out more about the local news in Aspen, tune into the show. This is All About Aspen. I'm your host, Landon Like a Plane, and this show is sponsored by my personal company, Aspen Drone Company. Aspen Drone Company is a media production company centralized here in, or headquartered here in Aspen, Colorado. We specialize in aerial videography, but I am able to produce all kinds of media for various content, whether you're a realtor, a contractor, a construction company, or you're just a brand like Arva here who wants their product showcased. Aspen Drone Company has the ability to give you access to some of the most beautiful parts of this world. And if you want your brand showcased there, reach out to me, aspendronecompany.com. I'm the head pilot and CEO, Landon Hardstein. So today's show brought to you by Aspen Drone Company. And if you like the show, please feel free to reach out and also donate to the show. Feel free to sponsor. We love to have your support. So with that said, let's get underway. Let's take a quick dive here. I'm going to read both newspapers literally word for word. And we'll just take it from there, and then maybe we'll get into the weather and kind of take it from there. So here we go, I guess, with some local news. And you know what? After having written for the newspapers, I noticed that the writers aren't getting enough credit. And so I'm going to go ahead and make sure to call out the writers of each article, as each varying writer has their own style. And I think that it's actually important to recognize who these people are and what they're doing as far as being a contribution. A lot of times the writers at these newspapers are not making very good money. So, let's give them credit where credit's due. New Pickens County Democrats co-chairs elected. Sharon Caulfield and Baby Sevier take the place of Betty Wallach. News on February 7th, 2025 by Skylar Stark Ragsdale, SS Stark-Ragsdale at AspenTimes.com. Deborah Beebe Sevier to the left, talks to her new co-chair, Sharon Caulfield, who was phoning in remotely at the Pickens County Democrats meeting on Thursday, February 6th, 2025, at the Aspen Police Station Community Room. Austin Colbert, the Aspen Times. I'm guessing that's the photo. The two newest leaders of the Pickens County Democratic Party were elected on Thursday evening, both receiving a unanimous vote of approval. Sharon Caulfield and Baby Sevier took the reins from Betty Wallach, who served the Pickens County Democratic Party for nearly a decade and as a chair for the past 2 years. In her farewell speech Thursday night at the Aspen Police Department, Wallach referenced the new federal administration, encouraging the party and public audience to continue fighting. Let's not give them free rent in our heads. Tonight is not the night for that, she said, adding, we don't need to talk about it, but we do need to fight it. Outgoing Pickens County Democrats Chair Betty Wallach bangs the gavel one final time during their meeting on Thursday, February 6, 2025 at the Aspen Police Station. Wallach is retiring. Wallach was an administrative vice chair and secretary for the majority of her tenure with the party. In 2023, she stepped in as chair, replacing her husband, Howie Wallach, who served for 8 years. Eager to follow in the footsteps of the Wallachs, Sevier addressed the party and public when nominated. We know that we have very big shoes to fill and lots of years of Howie's and Betty's work before us, she said. I'm absolutely thrilled to have your confidence and hope to gain the confidence of the community. She spent 15 years of her life in the federal government and 30 years in hospitality management. While working for the government, she uncovered a conspiracy that resulted in the removal of high-ranking officials. A testament to my investigative skills and integrity, she wrote in an email on Monday. However, to really know me is to understand the value and importance I place on education, and that the privilege and access we have to it in this country is not lost to me. She brings with her to the leadership role a doctorate in educational law, a policy, a master's degree in legal studies and business administration, a graduate certificate in strategic global communications, and a bachelor's of science in aviation and professional piloting. She currently works at a hospital where she most recently played a crucial part in saving a life during a medical emergency. Now, my greatest role is being the proud matriarch of an astonishingly beautiful and diverse little modern family of 3 women, she wrote. New Pickens County Democrats co-chair Sharon Caulfield phones in remotely during their meeting on Thursday, February 6th, 2025, at the Aspen Police Station Community Room. Austin Colbert, the Aspen Times. Caulfield stepped into the new position as a semi-retired attorney representing rural Colorado hospitals. It's a tremendous honor, and I really look forward to it, she said of her nomination. I think that we'll also have some fun. It's going to be a couple of wild years. She wrote on Monday that she looks forward to working with longtime party members in the county and strives to gather additional support through outreach to young Democrats, Down Valley Democrats, independents, and disaffected Republicans. The Pickens County Democratic Party continues to have a unique mission during these challenging times with our healthy community, wide base of support, and strong connections to the Democratic Party. Council for the Pickens County Democratic Party as a precinct organizer, as well as through her participation at the farmers market and Blue Pickens County Democrats. Chair Betty Wallach gives a final bow during her final meeting on Thursday, February 6th, 2025. Aspen Police Station. Wallach is retiring. Skylar Stark Ragsdale can be reached at I shouldn't probably read that. Or email him at sstarkragsdale@Aspen Times. I guess you could see it. I guess they put it in the paper. They want it read. But anyway, there you go. So there's one. Let's move on to the next here. Well, it was interesting reading that last article about the Pickens County Democrats. Aspen is a very, very Democratic, like big D Democratic, as in blue, town. And in my personal opinion, the Republican opinion and viewpoint is highly misunderrepresented. And in that way, I am a former Democrat who has left the Democratic Party